King Von almost never became King Von. Before Crazy Story, before the platinum plaques, before any of it, Von was sitting in a jail cell facing life in prison for murder. And I'm not talking about rumors or street tales. I'm talking about a real case with real evidence, security footage, witnesses, and a trial that could have ended everything. But here's the crazy part. And stick around, because I'm going to tell you exactly how he beat it at the end of this video. The way Von walked out of that courtroom is absolutely insane. This is the Malcolm Stuckey case. Let's get into it. Alright, so it's 2014. Chicago is wild at this time. People are getting killed left and right. Different blocks beefing over stuff that went back years. Von is only 19 years old. He's not famous yet. No rap career. No money. Just another young dude from O Block trying to survive. And he's already been through a lot. Arrested multiple times, been shot, seen his friends die. At 19, Von had already lived more than most people live in their whole life. Now there's this dude named Malcolm Stuckey. He's 26 years old. And there's beef between him and Von's circle. Nobody really knows exactly what started it. Could have been personal, could have been territory, could have been respect. But whatever it was serious. Von and Malcolm had problems before. They'd gotten into it. Words were said, threats were made. And in the streets, when stuff like that happens, it's only a matter of time before it turns violent. And that's exactly what happened. So it's May 29th, 2014, Thursday evening. Malcolm Stuckey pulls up to a gas station on East 75th Street to get gas. Just a regular stop, right? Wrong. Von and another person spotted him, and they made a move that would change everything. Now, the gas station had security cameras. Everything that happened next was caught on camera. The police got the footage, but it was never released to the public. But from the police reports and witness statements, here's what went down. Von and the other dude approached Malcolm at the gas station. Things got heated fast. Then, shots rang out. Multiple shots. Malcolm got hit several times. He tried to run, but collapsed right there near his car. They rushed him to the hospital, but it was too late. Malcolm Stuckey died from his wounds. He was 26 years old. The police showed up, grabbed the security footage, started talking to witnesses. And they knew immediately this wasn't random. This was targeted. Someone wanted Malcolm dead. And guess who they came for? 2 weeks later, June 11th, 2014, police kicked down doors and arrested King Von. The charge? First-degree murder. They said Von was the shooter. They had evidence. Security camera footage from the gas station. Witnesses who ID'd him. Forensics from the scene. The fact that he ran. Von was locked up with no bond. No bail. Nothing. At 19 years old, he was looking at life in prison. And I'm talking about life without parole. He would die in jail. For most people, this is game over. Your life is done. But Von's story, it gets interesting. Stay with me. So Von is sitting in Cook County Jail. And he sits there for 3 years. From 2014 to 2017. No bond. No freedom. Just waiting for his trial while his lawyers tried to figure out how to save his life. Think about that. 3 years of your life gone. You're 19 when you go in, 22 when you get out. Missing everything. Funerals, birthdays, your friends' lives moving on without you. And the whole time, you're thinking, I might never leave this place. Most people would break, give up. But Von did something different. He started writing, rapping, more seriously than before. And this is when Lil Durk called him. Durk was already blowing up in the rap game. And he told Von, bro, when you get out, you gotta take this rap thing serious. You can tell stories better than anybody. Von had a lot of time to think. And he realized, if he ever got out, he wasn't coming back to this life. He had to change. But first, he had to beat this case. And the odds weren't looking good. Alright, 2017. The trial finally happens. The prosecution comes in strong. They're like, we got him. They present the security footage. Multiple witnesses saying they saw Von at the scene. Forensic evidence. Everything pointing to Von as the shooter. The courtroom is packed. Von's family is there. Malcolm's family is there. Everybody's waiting to see what happens. The prosecutors are confident. They think it's a done deal. Von's going away forever. But then Von's defense team goes to work. And this is where it gets crazy. They start poking holes in everything. First, they go after the witnesses. Under cross-examination, the stories start falling apart. Witnesses getting details wrong. Can't remember clearly. Some admitted they didn't actually see who shot. They just heard people say it was Von later. Then the security footage. The defense argued that the video quality was too poor. You couldn't clearly identify faces. He showed someone shooting. But could you 100% say it was Vaughn? The defense said no. The forensics? Defense brought in their own experts who questioned the police findings. And here's the key thing. In America, you're innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. That means if the jury has any doubt, they have to vote not guilty. Vaughn's lawyers created doubt. Lots of it. After days of testimony, closing arguments, all of it, the jury goes to deliberate. Vaughn is sitting there. His whole life is about to be decided. Either he walks out that courtroom, or he spends the rest of his life in a cell. The jury comes back. The judge asks for the verdict. Not guilty. Bro, the courtroom probably went crazy. Vaughn's family crying, celebrating. After 3 years locked up for a murder charge with evidence against him, he beat it. Now, let's be real. Not guilty doesn't mean innocent. It means the prosecution couldn't prove their case beyond reasonable doubt. There's a difference. But in the eyes of the law, Vaughn was free. He walked out of Cook County Jail in 2017. After 3 years, he was finally free. So Vaughn gets out, and now he understands what Lil Durk was telling him. He'd just gotten a second chance that most people never get. Think about it. How many people beat a murder case? Not many. Vaughn knew he was lucky. But the Malcolm Stuckey case stayed with him. You can hear it in his music if you really listen. Vaughn would make references that people who know. He never straight up confessed to anything. He was too smart for that. But the pain and the weight of his past was always there in his lyrics. And let's keep it real. There was a real victim here. Malcolm Stuckey had a mother, a family, people who loved him. They lost someone that night. Whether Vaughn pulled the trigger or not, a man died, and a family was destroyed. That's the part that gets forgotten when we talk about these stories. Vaughn's acquittal was controversial in Chicago. Some people were happy for him. Others, especially Malcolm's family, felt like justice wasn't served. That's the reality. In situations like this, there's no winners. Just pain on all sides. But Vaughn took his second chance and ran with it. He signed with Durk's label ODF, got in the studio, and dropped Crazy Story in 2018. The rest is history. The sad part? Vaughn eventually died from the same street violence he came from. He got his second chance, made it out, became successful, and still, the streets caught up with him in 2020. That's the cycle. That's the reality. So that's the Malcolm Stuckey case. The darkest chapter of King Vaughn's life that most people never talk about. From a gas station shooting to beating a life sentence. This is the story that almost ended Vaughn before he ever became Vaughn. If you made it to the end, you're a real one. Drop a like on this video, it really helps the channel grow. Subscribe if you want more deep dives into hip-hop stories that nobody else is covering. We're bringing you the real, unfiltered truth. Drop a comment and let me know. What other rapper stories should I cover next?